Too sharp.
We're back with episode 13 of the Fifth Quarter Collective. We've been gone for a little bit, but please like, subscribe, and share. I know you've missed us dearly. How are we doing, everybody? It's been a bit.
Good. Went on a little hiatus during football season. Went in the cave. Yeah. Now we're back.
Volunteer's about to take it to Oklahoma this week, -7. Had to throw that out there. It's free pick of the day. Just wanted to say that.
Oh, we're giving out free picks now, dude.
Not financial advice.
Yeah. What is the gambling help or whatever? We need that gambling help hotline or whatever at the bottom.
Sure, Siri or Google has it for you if you need it.
Yeah, we picked a good time to do a little hiatus. Start of the football season. I love how we went like during the dead of all sports periods, and we took a slight break there. But
yeah, but that's where sickos are made.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we were heavily covering the WNBA. That's
busting our chops, you know. You're just getting stronger,
cutting our teeth, baby.
Okay, can I throw out the first topic real quick? Does Florida State just suck at football? Are they just like completely terrible? Is DJU the reason they're bad? When we will start with Luke, take it away.
Do I think they're bad? I think they had to replace a lot, right? So if we're, I mean, yes. The answer is yes. I think 0-3. You know, my dog is drinking a lot of water, so I hope that the audio picks that up. But yeah, Florida State is bad. They are officially bad. If they're losing to Memphis, dude, come on.
Memphis, solid group of 5 team.
Yeah, are they going to be that 12th team, Coleman?
They will.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
No, I've already locked it in. That's it. They're American Conference champion. I've already locked that bet in preseason.
Did you been prepared?
Did you guys see that stat? Was it FSU's the first team to be like a preseason top 10 to go 0-3 to start the season against non-ranked teams? Is it like ever? Is that right?
Ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I just don't know. I think everybody wants that redemption story from DJU, but you saw what he had in the past. He's pretty consistently lackluster, I'd say. And also just it doesn't seem like they have the weapons, like losing Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, I think, was also there. It's tough. And I'm starting to think who's going to be the next coach of FSU. I don't know.
Go ahead, Coleman. Go ahead,
though. You had a
great flaming hot take that makes no sense, but it'd be so cool. Bring back Dion. I mean, we could just bring back prime time. So that's just my 2 cents, throwing it out there.
I'm gonna take this wagon, take this train back on the tracks from these absurd comments that we've had. Luke is correct. DJU is not the answer. Jake is also correct in saying that. The team is bad. The team had a lot to replace from last season. However, your answer is not firing Mike Norvell and hiring Deion Sanders.
Yet.
What you do is, how did they backfill their roster from all the players that they've lost last year? How'd they do it?
It doesn't look like they did a good job. Yeah.
The portal. And does the portal work out for everyone? No, it works out for Ole Miss. Look at Colorado. Didn't really work out for them so well.
Why
so you have to, at an organizational level, focus on high school recruiting and building your program up that way, because that's the way it was built up for him last year with Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, and that great defense that they had. That's not what he has this year. However, because they've had such a failure of a season so far, and I mean, yes, they're preseason top 25. However, the 3 teams that they've lost to are very quality teams. Georgia Tech is near the top of the ACC, talent-wise. Boston College was ranked up until this week when they lost to Missouri by 6 at home or on the road. And then Memphis, who's the betting favorite for the American Conference champion. So they're not awful losses. But yes, when you're a preseason top 10 team, that's not great. And it's also not great looking for recruits as well, because they've had 2 recent decommitments of 4- and 5-star talent from the state of Florida who are now going to SEC teams. So I think it's an organizational failure this year, but he has to get it back on the tracks. And I think he's the guy for the job, but I would start to worry later on next year if the train doesn't get back on the tracks.
Is there any world, because when I was trying to think of, all right, seats getting hotter down in Tallahassee, is it possible that LSU, they fumble some games, Brian Kelly's gone, they buy him out, and Brian Kelly ends up at FSU at all? Or no way. No.
I think before you even fire Mike Norvell, I think there's about 6-7 jobs that open up way before that, like high-powered, high-major jobs before Florida State opens up. I could see Brian Kelly getting canned at the end of this season.
Notre Dame.
Michigan.
Yeah. I think he goes back up north if we're talking Brian
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Does he lose his accent then? Does it go back to talking normally?
Immediately. Yeah, he's back to just how he was before he went down south. Like immediately just normal person again. Yep.
Yeah.
No more family.
No more family.
No programs. Yep. Gosh. Okay, well, moving forward, there's a big game coming up next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And I kind of want to touch base on it now because I was looking ahead, and this was a big topic. Who do you guys have, Georgia versus Bama? Who are you going to take in that game? It's at Bama. And I know that'll shake and completely reshape the AP polls. So what do you guys think of that? And who are you taking? Because both, just for preference, Georgia played horribly last week against Kentucky and won by 1 point. Bama didn't play the greatest 2 weeks ago, I believe, against USF, and it was a close game through 3 quarters. So neither team has looked completely dominant as they usually do. But given that it's in Bryant-Denny, what do you guys think the result's going to be, or any key things we should look for while watching this game?
I'm going to go out and say Bama's hard to beat at home. They beat the Wisconsin Badgers, very quality win, even though they lost their starting quarterback with a ACL. But no, in all seriousness, I'm going to go Bama. I love Jalen Milroe and think he's a bit underrated. One of the announcers said, or one of the commentators last week said, it reminds him of watching Lamar Jackson, but with less wiggle. I don't know how much I agree with that. I think he's a bit more like Jalen Hurts. Like if I had to have a comparison maybe, and people say he can't throw all the time. Go and look at his deep ball numbers. The dude can sling it. And I don't think they'll be maybe as physically dominating up front as they were against Wisconsin, but give me Bama at home. I'm not sure let me look at the line on that real quick while you guys are talking.
It's 2.5 to Georgia, I believe.
2.5 to Georgia.
Yeah. And I'm taking Bama in that. So that's another pick, free pick, just so you know. Yeah. Free betting advice. Luke, what are you thinking about this game?
I think I'm going to pick Georgia. And I'm not, I think obviously Milroe is not, he's not the quarterback for Alabama. Not the best one they've ever had, but I mean, I think Carson Beck is certainly he's shown that he is a little bit better. I think they still have a lot more talent on their team, and for Ole Miss's sake, you want everyone on your schedule to be quality wins. So if Georgia beats Alabama, and in the event that Ole Miss beats Georgia, we want that. So,
Coleman, and you?
I'm going to take the Tide. Now I know you always want to. Both teams are coming off a bye, and Kirby Smart's going to have that team prepared to go into Tuscaloosa. However, they've always struggled with the Tide, and yes, it was Saban's Alabama. However, I still think that trend continues. I'm moving under DeBoer's tenure. Alabama looked really, really dominant against Wisconsin. Granted, Wisconsin lost their starting quarterback, and it was pretty much playing FCS East at that point. No offense to those Badger fans out there, but I do. I think the trend continues, and I think the Tide at home. It's a tough place to play. It's a difficult place to go into on a Saturday night. Stadium's going to be rocking, and the fact that Georgia struggled with Kentucky, and yeah, they have their early season struggles every single year. They struggled with Auburn last year. I still think the Tide come out on top. Georgia's got a tough schedule. tough schedule, and I think this is one of the first of multiple losses that they'll have this year.
Well, I'm glad we didn't all choose the same team.
Good point, though, Luke. Hard to bet against Carson Beck, where, I mean, he might be the overall number 1 pick next year.
Maybe
he's quality. Like if you're just looking at quarterback battle, I mean, you're definitely taking Beck over Milroe.
Yeah, I just remember, when we last did our podcast before week 0, and I chose Georgia Tech to beat Florida State. Everyone chose Florida State. No big deal. I'll take my victory lap now. So
the Oracle of Oxford. We might have to start calling you.
Yeah, bring back the receipts.
Yeah. We're this is the receipts episode.
Yeah, bring back all your predictions are coming out this one, right?
Let me segue into another game here. It might catapult us onto an interesting conversation as well. Florida, Mississippi State. I think I'm actually leaning State there. Let's see there. 6-point dogs. I'd take that spread.
What'd you
I'd
say?
rather sit on the toilet for 3.5 hours and watch that.
State, Florida?
Yeah, I'd rather sit on the toilet for 3.5 hours and read the newspaper than watch that crap.
How are you going to cheer for either one of them? First off, it's State. It's our arch rival. And then B, it's Florida, whose win total is over under 3.5 for the whole year. Like, this is okay.
Is this Billy Napier's last game?
Yeah,
If they lose, I do think they can him.
Because they've already come up with all the money, it sounds like, to buy him out. So
yeah, boots on the ground, baby. We were there.
Yep, we were there.
But yeah, I would agree. If they lose to Mississippi State, he should be canned immediately on the spot, on the tarmac, flying home.
Mississippi State is not good.
No, and the loss to Toledo
that hurt. The Rockets aren't like a powerhouse,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pathetic showing. I get it. Levy coming in year 1, don't have your guys, barely have any guys. So I get it. That's okay. But still, 41-17 at home. Pathetic.
The only reason, well, not the only reason. One of the reasons I'm looking at Mississippi State, though, even after what we've seen so far, is Florida seems like they're kind of indecisive about, are they going to go back to Mertz? Are they going to stick with this true freshman? You throw a true freshman quarterback out there, that can lead to some mistakes of its own. Not saying that Mertz might be extremely, above and beyond better, but he does have that game time experience at least. So I don't know. I guess a little bit of a worse reaction than I thought from the crowd here.
Can I ask you this? If we're going to talk Florida football, what do you have to lose?
Nothing. Pride's already out the window. I mean, you got nothing there. You got nothing to lose.
I think recruits.
Why not start him? You got nothing to lose. You know what Graham Mertz gives you. You had a whole year of him. You saw him in Wisconsin. You had the game against Miami. What do you have to lose?
I'd like to touch base real quick on that Miami game. Crazy how Miami won the football game, walked over to the recruits and said, "Don't go to Florida." That was unreal. That's some crazy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about an organizational failure. That's what Florida is right now. So yeah, what do you have to lose by starting Lagway?
It goes to show that Billy Napier is just not ready to coach Florida. Because if you have a 5-star, like a top tier freshman coming in, and you already know Graham Mertz wasn't getting it done beforehand, why aren't you just letting the freshman rock? In my opinion,
this is gonna sound dumb. And like as a coach, you play the best guys that put you in the best position. I think if you're Napier, you don't have anything to lose. The only thing I'm thinking of though is, let's say Lakewood plays lights out, awesome. Napier's gone. I don't know. Isn't the likelihood of him getting poached if they're bringing in a new regime fairly high? But I guess at that point it doesn't even matter, right? Because there's all the turnover.
Depends on which coach you bring in. And if you bring in an offensive mind, like they're saying,
we can't be talking about Kiffin leaving. Stop. This is our best shot we got.
No, I'm just saying there's been some chatter. Ole Miss Twitter, Florida Twitter, if you bring an offensive guru like that,
some of the chatter is Ole Miss now a better job than Florida, and I think at this point it is a better job because they establish an NIL, and that's what brings good players. That's how you keep good players.
Mm-hmm.
So
can I play? I went to Ole Miss. I love Ole Miss, but can I play devil's advocate?
Sure. For the podcast, absolutely.
Outside of NIL, how is Ole Miss a better job?
Look at our record. Look at the recruits.
If you look at Florida, the high school recruiting base of Florida, you compare that to what Ole Miss goes up against, and if you hire Lane Kiffin and you establish a proper NIL collective, what does that look like?
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but it's still, I don't know. I think Ole Miss, this is probably just the bias speaking, Ole Miss is a better pick closer to Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Bama. I mean, for Florida, you're basically just banking on Florida, which obviously has phenomenal recruits.
Atlanta, Miami.
Yep.
Going to Texas now. You're in the SEC.
If you're competing at a national level, does it really matter?
Florida's a national recruiting program. No offense to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is, they are, but they're not.
They are with Lane Kiffin. We're a national recruiting program.
Yeah, wherever Lane Kiffin is, that's where that's where it'll be.
I'd agree.
How I view Ole Miss right now is very much the same way I would feel if I'm sitting at a poker table and I just pushed all my chips in. I just went all in on a hand. That's exactly what this year is, where they've never spent as much money to go out and land talent. They upgraded the D-line and are having dart returning, the offensive weapons on the outside, even the O-line. Like, there is no better moment to go out and win a national championship than right now. And Lane's obviously not going to lose his job if they don't do that this year. But I think anything beyond that is a bust. And I think winning a national championship might be the only thing that keeps him here. I really do think if Florida opens up, I don't see how Lane turns down that job. Like, I agree with what he's built at Ole Miss. Better job today, but you take Lane and put him in that Florida head coaching seat, that could be a very dangerous program with the resources and everything that they have there.
Yeah, in a perfect bubble, I think Florida is a better program. Just better job than Ole Miss. I don't want to say better program, but that's in a perfect bubble. However, his kid goes to Ole Miss. One of his sons is transferring into Oxford High School next year. So there's a lot of different things that are potentially will keep him in Oxford. I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed. But I'm just saying, Florida with a name like Lane Kiffin that can rally the boosters, because Florida's willing to give. I mean, Ole Miss is willing to give too, but the fact that they went all in on this year, look at Florida State. They went all in on last year. Now they're 0-3, losing to Memphis.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like the rebuild after this year is going to be that'll be an uphill battle. Like, I don't think we just reload. Maybe we do with the portal. I think it'll be very hard. And Lane's a bit of a Florida man himself. Like, you look at what he's doing in the offseason. He's going deep sea fishing. He was at FIU. I think he also, with the amount of money that Florida would pay him, no state income tax in Florida. Like, a lot of things that would trend, in Florida's way when you're kind of doing some of the comparisons there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only other thing I could think of is his job security at Ole Miss is basically like set. If he gets us to the playoffs, let's say we win a game or two, like, we're keeping him for at least 5 years after that. Like, he's probably going to get the Calipari treatment.
Yeah, and he's also top 10 highest paid coach in collegiate sports.
He'll probably make more regardless of where he goes.
Move up from 9 to 7 or 9 to 4. It's not a jump. I don't think money's the big issue here.
It's definitely a recruiting thing. He even said, like, after the Georgia game last year, he had said something along the lines of, like, well, when they sub out, they have another 5-star subbing in to play each position. At some point, you just need these recruits. And to your point, the only way they're going to get that now with NIL is money.
Tell me this real quick. Go around the horn. Last year, when all the buzz was going with Lane potentially leaving for Auburn, we switched that, and you think the buzz was Florida. Do you think he's gone?
2 years ago. Two years
ago. Do you think he's gone?
No, I don't. I'd rather coach Auburn than Florida, personally. That might be a hot take, but
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's a hot take.
Yeah. I don't know. The Gators, in my opinion, I mean, I feel like they obviously like huge brand recognition. Last time they were like phenomenal was the Tebow era, which has been a while. So everybody's craving for somebody to come and like re-spark the program. And sure, but I just feel like Auburn. I don't know. I just feel like Auburn would be a better job. I feel like maybe it's just a personal thing. I don't know why. I'd rather coach Auburn than Florida. As weird as that sounds. So,
like, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably take Florida, but like, I don't. They're definitely. Not, it's not the same Florida of old. Yes, they have a bigger brand, but they're not like. This is not the Tebow area or even like the Spurrier era or anything like that. But the reason why they're so bad, I think, yes, Billy Napier is a mid coach, but they don't have talent. You have to win. You have to win college football games with talent. And how do you get talent with money? So they don't have as established an IL for this. But I don't know. I think Lane would certainly all that would just get carried over. I don't know. Show Florida.
If he jumps for Florida, I think my vote for next head coach, I want Second Chance University. I want us to hire Urban Meyer if he leaves for Florida.
Third chance. That'd be his third chance. Yeah, we don't need. We're second chance. You second
when he
chance
starts losing again, he'll claim he's got some health issues again.
He'll start grabbing his chest. Absolutely.
Okay, let's be serious for a moment. Let's say Lane jumps ship. Who do we try to poach? Like, who's the guy you try to grab? Like, you were really good. That's like such a hard sell, in my opinion.
The USF head coach, Alex Golsh.
That's who you think?
Yeah.
And how come?
Program builder. In 2 years at USF, he's done really well. Younger guy, offensive mind. I think he'd be a really good coach.
Okay. Luke?
That's if you're not looking at like going big game hunting.
Well, I think you could go big game hunting being Ole Miss, which is what I was leaning towards. That's why I was curious what you guys were thinking.
Man, I don't know. I'd take either Tulane coach, who was a former Ole Miss, Ole Miss coach. I can't remember which position coach he was, but he was during I think it was either the Matt Luke or towards the end of the Hugh Freeze era. His name is like John Summerall. He's a beast. Or the DC for Alabama. He hasn't had much to show, but Cam Womack. He was what was it, Southern Alabama, crushed. If they wanted to go. Kind of at a splash, I guess. Is it splash? I don't know.
I like John Summerall. I like that.
It's a good pick. Jake?
Yeah, Luke nailed it on the head. I was going to say Summerall as well. Just kind of flipping through some of these. I'm always intrigued looking at some of the current NFL head coaches, seeing if anybody would jump back. Nobody jumps off the page to me right here. So
Jim Harbaugh.
I probably agree. I wouldn't mind Summerall.
I completely agree with everybody there about how you have to have an offensive-minded head coach. Personally, just because I really stand by that, like you need a head coach who wants to score the ball and thinks on the offensive side, and your DC to basically just take over the defensive side of it. What if you think they try to take Pete Golding, our DC, and just hire internally?
That's a good idea.
He is one of the highest, if not the highest paid DC in the country. I think he makes 2.1 a year. And obviously, he's done a great job from what we had prior to Pete Golding. He worked with Saban.
Yeah.
Comes from the Saban tree, so obviously he knows what he's doing on that. And Coleman, you don't look.
No, I like that hire. I do. I had another thought. Not about the defensive coordinator or head coach conversation.
John Harbaugh?
No. Who might be on the hot seat for ESPN this morning. And we can do a Baltimore Sports Minute. Baltimore Sports segment in a minute. No, I really like how my negativity is now sparks the conversation of like, oh fuck, Lane's actually leaving. And now we're coming up with head coaching candidates for Ole Miss because everyone agreed, oh, Lane's not gonna leave. I don't buy that. So I play devil's advocate for 1 minute, give my thoughts up, he's gone.
He's gone.
Like Jimmy Sexton right now.
Yeah, just buying up the price, I guess.
The one thing we got though is that his kids are in Ox. Like kids at Ole Miss, family's there. Obviously, he likes spending the summers in Florida, and he's like Jake said, a Florida man. So it could go either way. I think it's just going to be about if he can recruit the talent to Ole Miss and how that works. If not, it's kind of like what Luke touched on. He could just go to Florida, set up an NIL, and in 2 years have like one of the biggest spending budgets in the country, given how big Florida is.
I think what'll help him too is if Dart just has an absolute statistic like crazy season
Which he will.
and wins the Heisman. That's an absolute like the top tier like recruiting tool for like top tier quarterbacks. Like, hey, we produce Heisman quarterbacks, But we'll see. I feel like also him losing his mind over Wake Forest backing out at the last second, foreshadowing to next season. That's a little bit of a tell, maybe that he might stay. I don't know.
Yeah, what was up? Why did they back out? They have to pay us now $1 million to get out of it.
To be honest, I don't know. They didn't want to get skull drug again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Any other college football topics before? One thing I wanted to do when we close for college football is I want to kind of go around the horn, throw some games and some lines at everybody. Just do like a quick around the horn for who everybody's taking in some of those matchups. But anything else specifically? No. Let me throw some of these games out at you. Cal at Florida State. Florida State 2.5 favorite.
I just feel like if you bet against Florida State so far, you're doing pretty hot. So I think I'm just going to bet Cal. Yeah.
If we look at it, it's 2.5 points in Tallahassee. Pretty much even.
That's sad, honestly.
Yeah, it is sad. I'll take Cal as well.
Yep.
I'll go on East again, get another win.
Do I dare? Against the grain. Zig while the others are zagging, I feel like I have to go Florida State. I mean, it's what, 2.5 points. We'll go for it. What is that? It's field goal. So
there you go.
Win by a field goal. Let's go.
I would also go Cal there.
You guys are no fun. You guys are no fun.
Here's one I find interesting. USC at Michigan. Michigan 10.5 point favorites.
Dude, that's a good game.
Hammered USC. I thought it dropped down to 5.5, but hammered.
Excuse me. The open line was plus, or it was 10.5. Now it's at 5.5. You're right, Bo.
Okay, I was going to say I didn't know the line changed that much, but hammer USC. I think they are going to roll Michigan. That's my prediction.
Do you think USC has the physicality to go up against Michigan in the big house?
That's the concern, is that it's at the big house. That's the concern. It's in the big house. But 5.5, dude, I think they could win that. I definitely think they could win that. They could cover.
Now, are you putting USC on the same scale as Texas?
No, not at all.
Because and again, I have not given my pick. Texas had the physicality to go up there and out-tough Michigan, out-physical them, and really just outman them in the trenches. And I think that's the way you beat Michigan.
So you're saying beat?
I don't think you can spread it out on them because the defense is still very good. So I'm curious. That's why I'm just curious what you guys thought about that.
I think USC's defense this year has been much better than in
I would agree.
Was past. To your point, can they, win the trenches? I don't think so. I do think, though, they might be overwhelming on the offensive side of the ball. Like, they do have a few different weapons there with, I think it's Woods, who's the running back, or Branch out at wide receiver. And is it Miller Moss?
Yep.
Been pretty solid so far. So I'm going to go USC plus 5.5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go USC. The continual thing is you got to have a good quarterback. Miller Moss is the guy, I think. So we'll go USC.
I'm going to take USC as well. Again, just playing devil's advocate. I have no trust in Alex Orji. or what Michigan does on the offensive end. And I do think the defense is much improved under the new defensive coordinator. So I like what I saw against LSU. They beat the fuck out of Utah State. So I'm taking USC plus points.
Shout out to Sharon Moore for signing his contract so he can get his money, baby.
Just shout out.
Go get your money.
Just a few more here before we get to a very sexy matchup. I want to take it back to keep it within the Big Ten here. We have Iowa at Minnesota, baby.
Ooh.
Iowa 2.5 point favorites. Who you got?
I thought Iowa. Excuse me. Iowa. What is it? Say it again. Sorry.
2.5 point favorites.
What's the over under, like 17 points? Like, is it very low? Is Iowa able to score the ball this year?
Let me see. Over under is 36.5. Or drop down to 35.5.
I really have more. Wow, that's a dog. That's really just going to be a defensive battle. Like, that's
Big Ten football, baby.
10-7.
Paint dry. I'm going to abstain.
It's going to be like 10-7 at the end of the third quarter.
So are you telling me, Bo, you rather not go spread? You rather bet the under 35.5?
Yeah, I'd hammer that under 35.5. Yeah, dude, I don't know who's winning that football game except defense. That's who's winning that. That's it.
Coleman's not voting. Luke?
I was high on the Hawkeyes before the season. I'm less high, but I'm still high enough. So we're still gonna pick the Hawkeyes for consistency's sake.
Yeah.
Can I also ask this? What fucking football games are you watching? Bringing up Florida, Mississippi State, and Minnesota, Iowa?
The
What's
quad
wrong
box
with
is
you?
gonna be sicko box, dude.
I
bet you watched Buffalo UMass last week.
love the game. That's
dude,
all
if
I
you
gotta
can find Hofstra, find it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, let's watch Hofstra versus Villanova.
We tune in real quick.
I watched the Vandals playing Albany or whoever the hell they were just playing last week.
Get the hell out of here with these games.
Hey, if we want to keep it in the Big Ten, I got another one to bring up real quick.
Go ahead.
We have Nebraska versus Illinois. Ranked Illinois, 24th in the country. Who are you taking?
Where's it at?
I believe it is at Illinois in Champaign. I believe, but you might have to confirm that.
And who's the favorite? Nebraska?
No, it's in Lincoln.
It's in Lincoln. That changes everything.
Nebraska's 7.5.
Yeah. I'd go Nebraska 7.5. Although Altmaier's been pretty good.
Former Ole Miss Rebel.
Dude, anybody that's named Luke they got me, dude. I'll be ILLINI all the way home. No, I'll choose Illinois for the upset. Let's go. Is it an upset? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give me the Mahomes impersonator. Nebraska rolls.
That's lame, by the way. How he's an impersonator, not by your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, I'm rocking with you. Illinois is definitely going to beat him. Definitely going to beat him.
Oh, maybe.
This is an interesting one. Getting to SEC here. We have Tennessee at Oklahoma. Listen to this, though. The opening line, Oklahoma was 3.5 point favorites. The line has now shifted to Tennessee 7 point favorites.
Yep. Hammered this morning. I'm taking Tennessee. The lines moved, obviously, because Tennessee put up like 71 points versus Kent State, and the defense looked phenomenal as well. Biggest concern is that it's in Norman, in Oklahoma, obviously, and it's a young QB with Nico. It's his first real huge challenge on the road in a hostile environment, so it's going to see how he truly is. I think Tennessee's a legit top 5 team in the country. I think they are phenomenal just watching them. And obviously being here in Tennessee, everybody's all about the Vols, and that's probably a little biased, but watching them at the bar, they look really good. Offense is flowing, defense is stopping everything. It should be a great matchup. But yeah, Vols by probably 10. I'm going to take them winning by 10. That's my guess.
Really like Tennessee as well. It's two young quarterbacks. Jackson Arnold for Oklahoma and Nico for Tennessee. Oklahoma has not looked thoroughly impressive, I would say, throughout this season so far. I mean, yeah, they beat the shit out of Temple. They beat Tulane, who's a good team, but they did struggle against Houston at home. I think they've already kind of gone on the road. Granted, it was a neutral site game in Charlotte against NC State, but they roll. NC State preseason ranked top is a very good team preseason wise. Now, not too sure. But I think Tennessee goes in Oklahoma, and I don't think rolls them, but I think they do win by more than 10, I would say. Even though it is going to be a hostile environment. Oklahoma's first SEC game, but I think Tennessee's tested. He's played in big games against big competition already. The bowl game last year, NC State, I think will be ready for this.
Jake?
How
do you feel?
I think I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma. I think I'm going to go with what's his name, Arnold, at quarterback, and I think with their defensive schemes, maybe they'll be able to throw. How do you say his last name?
Venables.
No. The Tennessee quarterback's last name. Does anybody know how to pronounce his last name?
Amaviala.
There we go. Yes.
Nico's much simpler.
Nico's much simpler.
Yeah.
I see we're prepared.
We will skip the Wagner UMass line there. I don't think anybody's going to be putting any money on that. So,
give you $1 if you know where Wagner is.
Oh, no clue.
Coleman knows this answer. I love that.
Hold on.
It's probably like. Is it
Virginia?
Is it in the great state of Maryland?
No, it's in New York.
I didn't even give my guess yet. I want to guess New York.
I thought you'd abstained. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I was going to get it wrong anyways. That's
you guys
all right.
are poor.
I was going to say. I was thinking like Colorado.
Good military. Good ROTC program.
With that, let's jump to NFL here and round out the show with a little bit of NFL recap. I do have a topic I want to bring up here because it is just devastating looking at these injuries that have happened so far. I'm just pulling this up. But it's been, and maybe it's just because it's recency bias, but at least from what I've been looking at, it's hard to believe that this many people have gone down so far. So let me just read off this list for you. Puka Nacua, IR. CMC, IR. Isaiah Pacheco, fractured leg. Tua, concussion. Cooper Kupp, ankle. Jordan Love, knee. We have Higgins, hamstring. Jake Ferguson, knee. Keenan Allen, heel. Evan Ingram, hamstring. Quite a few stars going out at the start. And the poor Rams losing both their wide receivers. I think maybe the most scary one, though, is Tua going on that run, hitting his head again, and his body kind of stiffening up. I think they either did put him on IR or are considering it so he can meet with neurologists there. A lot of people have strong opinions on whether or not he should continue to play. Kind of wanted to throw that out there to everybody. What are your thoughts?
Got a very strong opinion. I think he should retire. I really do. If this is the second time it's happened, and it's obviously how he plays. Saban's even talked about it. They were interviewing him as coach that Pat McAfee show was, and said, you know him better than any of us who are talking into it, Mike. And Saban said, like, this is a decision he thinks that the medical health professionals should make. This is about your health. Like, he's already made enough money where he would never have to work a day in his life. Nobody in his family would. And he could just go and coach football if he really wants to be around it. Like, he would be everybody says he's a great leader, like a great guy, great locker room person. So why not just go into coaching? Like, I think he'd be a phenomenal offensive coordinator. He obviously understands everything. He's played NFL. He could easily just flip back to college and get picked up somewhere and still make a few million a year. Just my 2 cents on what Tua should.
Yeah. Go ahead, Luke.
I think he should retire too. Maybe he'll be the new Ole Miss football coach. I don't know. Tying it into Bo's answer there, but I don't know. I think you have to, at some point, you kind of have to look things kind of back up and put emotions aside. And I don't know. I think your health and the longevity of your life really is important. And if you want to see your family grow up and all this other stuff and be all there, like, you probably should just hang it up, honestly. It's sad. It really is. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. He wants to retire, let him retire. Wants to play, let him play. Who am I to tell a man what to do with his life?
Look at you. Wow, the wise words of Coleman Young.
Wow.
I think the concussions, I feel like everybody's pushing a little bit too far for him to retire right away. I understand the cautionary tale and things that we've seen with CT, but Merrill Hodge says CT is not real. So we have to do some more investigative reporting into that. But in all seriousness, I think he could continue to play. I really do think, though, if he does, like he can't be falling head first, kind of running through tackles. He really has to get down and not take those hits when he's moving outside the pocket. And he just kind of reminds me of like any older UFC fighter or boxer. Like sometimes they have that one knockout and their chin is never the same. And so it'll be his decision. We'll see what they do, but definitely puts McDaniel in a tough spot if they lose Tua for good, and kind of where their team is at drastically changes. I think they have to, I don't know who they would go out and get, because Tannehill's off the market since they just, or Dalton's off the market since they just benched Bryce. I guess they could get Tannehill. Do they trade for Joe? I don't know.
Joe might be starting here soon on the Colts because my quarterback can't make a throw, a good, decent throw for as long.
He had a great game in Lambeau. What are you talking about? Packers won. What are you talking? He had a great game.
Like 3 picks or whatever it is. Yeah, you can't be throwing the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
What's up with Jonathan Taylor not getting any carries in the fourth quarter?
Man, our whole team is just in shambles. We got DeForest Buckner out now. We got, a quarterback that's basically throwing less than 50%. And I don't know, a 40-year-old Joe Flacco could come save this team and it'd be okay.
Fucking Joe. First off, Joe Flacco is fucking timeless. Joe Flacco is a timeless player. He might play longer than Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Father time. But if you really, though, like, what do we expect from Anthony Richardson? What's he played? 18 games since high school?
Something like that, yeah.
That's a crazy stat.
He's a crazy, like, hey, all right, 18 games where you were starting senior year in your high school for your high school team, and now you're playing at Lambeau. Like, I mean, give the guy some time, but in my opinion, throw in Joe. Lead your team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Also, hey, your OC, horrible play calling. Jonathan Taylor was averaging like 8 yards a carry, I believe, and barely touched the football.
Yeah, no. There needs to be some reworking on both sides of the ball, honestly. Like, defense was their whole game plan. Literally, we're playing Malik Willis, dude. Like, plan for the run game, and you get run all over. It's like frustrating.
Josh Jacobs, 32 carries, 150 yards, I think, just running all over you guys.
Yeah, you can't stop a team that's going to average like 6 yards a carry. Like, that's tough. I don't know exactly the averages, but it seemed like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's always next year.
Would love to dovetail this with what the hell's going on in Baltimore, Coleman.
Another 0-2 team.
We'll do a Maryland sports moment right now. I think I watched Sunday. I watch every Oriole game, including tonight. They're fucking 10-0 shellacking against Blake Snell and the Giants. I think Maryland sports is having a big issue right now, and we're going through it. I mean, granted, okay, now we'll get serious. They lost to the Chiefs by about an inch, or at least taking that to overtime. I'm not going to hold that over their heads. But year after year, they've blown these fucking leads in the fourth quarter. I think they did it about 6 times, probably about 4 or 5 times last year. Already starting to do it again this year. I don't know. I don't know if it's the play calling in the late third quarter, early fourth quarter stages of where we're just playing really conservative. The botched punt by Jordan Stout, which never happens for the Ravens special teams. Justin Tucker missing field goals. I don't know. Truthfully don't know what's going on. I think we'll be okay. I'm not too worried at all. The Steelers are 2-0 in our division, first place. Cincinnati's 0-2. The Browns are 1-1. We'll be fine. We'll make the playoffs. I'm not worried. But it is an alarmingly bad loss for the Raiders at home, considering we're playing a first place schedule this year. But yeah, the Orioles fucking limping into the playoffs. I'm not looking forward to that. So it's been a rough couple weeks in Baltimore sports.
We are all with you in spirit.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm not panicking. I'm not alarmed. I'm okay.
We're not We're not panicking as Packer fans either with Malik Willis at the helm. Talk about scheming a game towards his strengths, and man, oh man, he shined in that system.
LaFleur had a great game plan going into that. He's been with the team for 3 weeks, and just a little revenge tour game. You know where he plays next week if he does start. Tennessee. He's back at the Titans. So he can rub it in everybody's face that was just dogging on him if he plays this week. And I think it'd be great for him to go out and do exactly what he did last week. 12 of 14 for completions, 126 rating, I believe. Just phenomenal. As long as he doesn't shoot us in the foot, like, we have a shot to win the game. That's all he needs to do. That's all he needs to do.
I would just, while we're on the topics of, like, we were talking about Malik Willis a little bit stepping up, I do just have to give these two guys their flowers. I mean, you look at one.
Zay?
Sadly not. I'm talking about Derek Carr and the Saints, who everybody was thinking we're about to have a dog shit season. I mean, leading the league right now, and I think QBR, Baker right behind him too. And what I love about Baker, similarly to Jared Goff, is just how he's reinvented himself, really found a home with the Buccaneers, and a lot of talent around him too, with Godwin and Evans and the rookie McMillan. Just, I don't know, shout out to them. I think they were getting a lot of hate this offseason, or at least Derek Carr was. So
feeling dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling dangerous.
Yeah, it's a lot of echo.
Yeah, I think we got an echo, Bo. You might want to mute when you're not talking.
Hold on. Am I good now? It made me leave, so I don't know what the hell happened. It said reconnect. I'm at like 1 minute recording.
Update Chrome.
Should I just skedaddle? Do you need me to do something?
No. This is good. It works now.
I forget what we were talking about.
We were talking about Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. I know everybody in the fantasy football community and basketball community is very pissed at Kyle Shanahan and not really being forthcoming with how serious McCaffrey's injuries were, and now him getting thrown on IR. And you got Jordan Mason playing, not even Elijah Mitchell. Like, there's a lot of people that were putting a lot of money behind CMC and not pleased at all. I thought that was an interesting storyline.
The 49ers, two positions that are producing are basically making $2 million combined. So that's pretty hilarious to think about.
Crazy. Did any of you guys get a chance to hear Brady commentate? I didn't hear any of it so far. No, well, we can skip that then. Yeah, I heard it was bad. And the other guy, just when we're talking about incredible storylines, you look at J.K. Dobbins coming back from Achilles tear, looking explosive, leading the ground game for Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers there. Just a really awesome story to see, especially giving hope to some of those other people that might go through some of those terrible, terrible injuries. I myself, was very much on the Gus Edwards train, so it breaks my heart every week to see him do so well, but it's cool seeing him out. I mean, basically they just took the Ravens backfield Coleman and they plugged it right into
Ravens East. They took the old offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Took the two running backs.
Dang.
They're doing so well that Quentin Johnston is catching touchdown passes. That's what Jim Harbaugh has done. I mean, miracles are happening over there.
Yeah. Ravens West, I'm sorry. LA is west of Baltimore.
Yeah, I didn't know what you meant by East. I was really confused, but I didn't want to roast you. I was like, maybe you know something I don't.
I corrected myself.
I guess
LA is west of Baltimore.
You go far enough around the world, it is east of something, right?
Yeah, right?
Kind of like 5 o'clock somewhere,
Yeah.
East of Beijing.
Yeah. Good for Gus Edwards, or good for J.K. Dobbins. Happy for him. Glad he's doing well. He'll probably get hurt week 6. but I'm happy he's doing well.
Any other NFL thoughts before we get to a few betting lines here?
Did we ever give a quick I know it's going to be week 3, but who's our prediction for the Super Bowl? Our upcoming week 3 Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, week 3 Super Bowl. We can all say the Saints now safely. No, I don't know if we did or not, actually. This is good podcasting. I honestly don't remember.
Off the top of the dome.
I don't remember. If I had to pick today, though, it's a not sexy pick. I would go Chiefs. Just hard to bet against Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. Kelsey hasn't been involved yet, but he'll get going. And even if they don't have Pacheco, Carson Steele's very, very good. And hey, Kareem Hunt's back. That's exciting.
One team that's looked pretty good is Philly. Philly looks really good, in my opinion. Took it to the Packers, and I think by the time they get to the Super Bowl, Saquon's just really obviously taken off. Obviously, he had injury problems in New York, but he looks like he's hitting his stride. I think they'll figure it out by that time. But I thought they looked really good when I watched them versus the Packers. So I'd say watch out for Philly. Would be my 2 cents.
This one will hurt me, but I think the Houston Texans look damn good. Good quarterback, good defense. I don't know. If they can get past the Chiefs, I think that's where they have to go to win the Super Bowl. They got to go through the Chiefs. I don't know if anybody in the NFC is worth, maybe the Lions. I don't know. But I'm going with the Houston Texans, unfortunately.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, sad. I cry every time.
I'll be a homer. Take the Ravens.
Oh. Why?
I think it's going to be them or the Chiefs that come out of the AFC. No one in the NFC really stands out to me, to be honest. Yeah, you can say San Francisco. Yeah, you can say Philly. Everyone has their flaws, and so do the Ravens. But I think maybe this is their year.
You're such an AFC elitist. That's how I would describe you.
All jokes aside, though, the Ravens are the better team of any of us following a team. The Packers are dead with Jordan Love out for the time being.
Willis. We don't even need Jordan Love.
I'm going to interrupt because we spent 5 minutes talking about Malik Willis, who's a glorified game manager who was ran out of Tennessee. Do you actually you think he has hope with this fucking Packer team?
Absolutely.
He's awful.
He's about to run the table.
I love delusion sometimes.
Coleman, one thing we do great at Lambeau, one thing we do great in the state of Wisconsin is we develop QBs and cheese. Those are the 2 things we're known for: QBs and cheese and beer. But that's what we do best. Okay, Jordan Love out of college, people thought he was a bust. People thought it was a wasted draft pick,
and he sat for years, not 3 weeks.
Hey, Malik Willis sat. He sat for 2 weeks. He's fine.
Yeah. 3 years to 3 weeks. See, we're compressing time frames, Coleman. That's what we do here. We get people up to speed. He knew all the motions. He knew everything he needed to know by 3.
But you just look at how they simplified the playbook. He's adapting the entire scheme to fit Malik Willis. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I feel bad for other organizations that, can't adapt so well.
Yeah, it's just unreal. I mean, and hats off to LaFleur. Called a phenomenal game on the offensive side, knowing Malik. I mean, he had to basically put him in situations like, we don't want you to throw the ball more than you ever have to in this scenario.
He threw the ball 14 times, and you beat the dog. No offense, Luke. You beat the dog shit Colts.
I was about to say, you're giving LaFleur too much credit. Our team just sucked.
I don't think so. I think he called a great game. I really do. I don't think you guys are giving him enough credit. If you, as a defense, know they have their backup QB, and it's 80-20 run, we'll just say 80% run, 20% pass, and for some reason you still can't stop them, that means you're either a phenomenal play caller or the Colts suck terribly.
There you go.
And it could be half and half. It could be half and half. But I think it was a good game plan.
I don't think they'll do that every week.
We'll see how next week. Who do they play next week? Oh, the Titans. That's right.
The
Are you going to the
revenge
game?
tour. I will not be at the game. Tickets are a little pricey, to be honest. So
I think I'd rather have Malik Willis than Lamar Jackson, honestly.
Would you rather have Malik Willis or Bryce Young?
Ooh.
Bryce Young.
See, personally, I like Bryce Young. I haven't watched him much in the NFL. First season,
I was very sad when he got benched.
yeah, dude, he plays for a horrible organization. A, B, the first, like, if your number one wideout's Adam Thielen, right? Like, come on now. It's not like he's throwing to, I don't know, primetime Randy Moss and like can't get him the ball.
To the Panthers' credit, though, he does look very like deer in headlights out there.
He does.
It's not, the game is not slow.
No, but I don't think they put him in a good position to succeed. Because when I watched, well, my personal opinion, when I watched him at Ole Miss in person back when he was in college, he looked so calm and knew like everything he was supposed to do. And now saying like what you're saying, he looks like he has no clue what's going on.
He was also at Bama though, and who did he have to throw to? Like Devontae Smith, Jamison Williams, and I don't know who else was there at that time.
Not good wide receivers at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not phenomenal. But he also had Bill O'Brien as his OC. So, I mean, I figured it would have prepared him fairly well. The Panthers, I just think, suck as an organization. And wherever he goes next, I think it could turn out like a Baker situation. They're like, oh, Baker sucks. And now Baker's back. Baker's bacon. So that's my 2 cents.
Any other thoughts before we go through some of these lines? No?
I'm anti-Malik Willis, but carry on.
Yeah. I couldn't tell. So
you guys are delusional. You think I'm delusional?
Here's a good game.
He scored one offensive touchdown, and he's like the savior.
He is. He's incredible. What a guy, right?
He was ran out of Tennessee by Will Levis, who tossed the ball underhanded to the Chicago Bears.
And look who's looking better now. Look who looks better now, huh? Who's looking better? Underhand.
I think Will Levis also threw a touchdown pass.
Packers got away with highway robbery.
Coleman, and this is what you're not seeing. You're not seeing the bigger picture. We're talking about a backup QB. We're not talking about the face of the franchise.
I know. I saw what Snoop Huntley could do. I see what Joe Flacco can do.
You mean
I know what a backup QB can do.
Hey, but we haven't had a
backup QB for a year. He took us to the playoffs and looked a whole hell of a lot better than Malik Willis.
Hey, we haven't had a good backup QB since Matt Flynn. Okay, don't know if you know that name, but he and Russell Wilson.
I do, and he got that big money deal with Seattle and shit the bed.
Dude, he got his money, didn't have to get hurt, and got out. He did the right thing.
Oh, remember Seneca Wallace?
Remember BJ Raji? Remember that?
Oh man, we could get into this game for hours here.
Carry on with your.
Okay. We're gonna have Cowboys versus Ravens at Ravens. Their Ravens are 1.5 point favorites. Who we all taking?
Coleman.
This is not the game you want to go into after losing to the Raiders. But then again, Dallas is coming off a shellacking to New Orleans. Give me the Ravens. I think we'll put it together. Last time we were in Dallas, they won, I believe. It was a while ago. About 8 years ago. So, give me the Ravens.
I too think the Ravens are going to pull this one out. I think this is their turn it around game. Flip the script. Let's move on.
Yeah.
They still got, still a pretty good team, and it's really a mystery why they're 0-2, honestly. But going with the Ravens.
Rockin' Ravens as well.
I'm going Cowboys. I'm fading bad organizations, so I'm going to go Cowboys.
I don't understand how you could say that. That's just a complete and utter false statement. That we're hyping up Malik Willis, and we're calling the Dallas Cowboys a more competent organization.
You have to go.
If you don't want to say the Ravens are the class of, if you don't want to say the Ravens are a class act organization and one of the classiest organizations in the NFL, fine, so be it. You'll never see that. You'll never get that through your head. But if you compare that to Dallas, I mean, what?
Yeah.
What games are we watching? Florida, Mississippi State, Iowa, Minnesota.
You have to be a true gamer.
UMass. What games are we watching?
You have to be a true gamer to find where you can make money in these lines, Coleman.
No, that's
Dallas,
not a true gamer.
Dallas is the obvious choice. They have the better wide receiver room. They have CeeDee Lamb.
No, but I'm
Jalen
not
Tolbert.
saying position groups. You said organizationally, top down.
Jerry Jones.
Businessman Jerry Jones,
Yeah.
different from owner Jerry Jones, in my opinion.
Securing the deal. Dak Prescott.
Ooh.
Carry on.
We're going to go. Next, we're going to go Falcons, Chiefs. I don't know if this surprises me, but Chiefs are only 3.5 point favorites. It's at Chiefs.
That line seems off. I'm taking Chiefs.
Excuse me. Kansas City at Atlanta.
That comes off, yeah.
And I got this wrong. Cowboys are in Dallas.
It's even more. Wow. Anywho, we'll move past that topic. I'll skip on over and take the Falcons at home.
Falcons.
I'll take the Chiefs. I think even though the Falcons came off a really good game against the Eagles, a comeback win, Kirk Cousins is still, I don't think, healthy fully, and he's playing against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are dominant in many positions, so we'll go with the Chiefs.
Give me Kansas City. The two teams Kansas City's faced so far, Cincinnati and Baltimore, play them regularly. Again, not to talk about AFC elitism, but I will. They play them all the time. They understand Mahomes. They understand how that offense works. Yeah, they haven't looked I mean, they looked good. They haven't looked great, but Mahomes is 20-5 against the NFC. They don't play him that often. Give me Mahomes.
Yep. I'm going Chiefs 3.5 as well. Luke, Colts Bears. I think it's in Indianapolis. Yes, it is. Colts are 1 point favorites, so basically even.
So I will actually be in Indianapolis this weekend. And I looked into going, but after last week's performance, I'm not sure I could go. We'll see. It's still up in the air. Honestly, I have to drive back afterwards, and it's like, but I'm gonna stick with my team. I still don't think Caleb Williams can, he's still a rookie quarterback. So our defensive line, even though DeForest Buckner is out, is still a solid defensive line, and they're going to go find the quarterback. And rookie quarterbacks don't fare well against good defensive lines. So, boom. Go Colts for the shoe. Dang. Such a sad game, I guess.
Yeah.
I really have no opinions. I don't.
I would go with the Colts as well. Screw the Bears.
So. Even against their great performance against the Packers?
I mean, they played a very good defense. Bears won't be that good.
Did you know?
Oh, boy.
This game on Saturday between Utah and Oklahoma State, between Cam Rising and Oklahoma State's quarterback Alan Bowman. Did you know both of them are older than Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams?
No way.
That's pretty hilarious.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so therefore this game's a stinker. Who cares? But I'm going to take the Colts.
Colts.
Go.
Landslide. Look at you're not in love with the games here that we're picking, are you?
You've been picking giving us some ass games.
Here's a better one. Panthers at Raiders. Raiders 5.5 point favorites.
Dude, what games do you watch? This is unreal. We'll go with the Raiders, obviously, because they're a primetime organization that can take it to some other stellar organizations out east. So I think I got to rock with the Raiders. Coleman, your thoughts?
Zag? I'll actually go Panthers. I actually love it when a backup QB comes in, like Andy Dalton, like one of these old vets come in. They do really well week one, and then they kind of shit the bed afterwards. Give me the Panthers plus points.
Okay, speaking of backup quarterbacks, former backup quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, Gardner Minshew, on the Raiders, absolute beast. Okay, absolute beast. He's going to bring them to win this one against the lowly Panthers, who seemingly, I feel like it's week 3 and they should be on quit mode, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers. Hard to pick against the Raiders there. We have two more before we wrap here. These will actually be better games. We do have Lions at Cardinals. Okay. Lions are 3-point favorites.
I am rocking with the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals.
I think this game's very, very interesting because Arizona played the best in their I think they looked very good in their week 1 loss to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And they came out and destroyed the Rams last week. Like, I did not think it would be that bad. But then if you look at Detroit, again, good win against the Rams. And then maybe they should have beat Tampa. But I don't know. Arizona looked really good last week. So I'll take the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm a big Dan Campbell guy, man. Okay? Like, if you're a coach and you can just rally the troops like that and just rally. I don't know. I'm low-key obsessed with the man. I think he's funny. That the whole what was it, Hard Knocks, that really did a deep dive on the team. Like, that sold me. Like, if I wasn't a Colts fan, I'd definitely be a Lions fan just for Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I think they do have like a lot of great players. Jared Goff is still a Jared Goff. The running backs, David Montgomery, he's great back. And then you got Amon St. Brown or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry to his family. I totally botched that probably, but yeah, I think the Lions are a stellar team.
Yeah, I think I would also go Lions. Really, just like how comfortable Jared Goff is, and Jameson Williams has stepped up big time. But been excited to see Marvin Harrison Jr. actually play to the level everybody thought he could last week. I think everybody was, the week 1 overreaction was I think it was 1 catch for 6 yards or something like that, but he's getting his footing. He'll be fine.
Can you imagine, though, if Marvin Harrison Jr. got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts like his father?
They wouldn't throw him the ball.
Yeah, they throw it to the other team. They throw it to the team in green and gold.
Tough, but it would be beautiful.
It'd be beautiful to watch him run. It'd be beautiful to watch him run. Hey. Oh, incomplete pass, run back.
Yeah, he'd get winded. He after his rookie contract, he would request a trade so fast.
I'll leave this up to the peanut gallery so we can vote, since some people haven't loved the games I've been picking so far.
Everyone?
Fans at home.
Saints, Eagles, or Bills, Jaguars? Which one is more interesting?
Saints, Eagles.
Saints,
Eagles? Okay. So sure. Eagles in New Orleans. Saints are 3-point favorites.
Saints, easily. Rocking with the Saints, easily.
Even though Philly's your Super Bowl pick?
Yeah. Dude, I've been so high on Alvin Kamara that people have been telling me I'm like idiotic. I've been so high on him as probably one of the top backs in the league, and everybody's saying he's old or this, that, and the other. Somebody's got to do the work down there in New Orleans. How do you say it? New Orleans? Excuse me, New Orleans. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's got to do the work down there, and he's the guy. And then they got Derek Carr, it looks like he's clicking on all cylinders now. I think they're going to win. I think it's home field advantage. So, yeah, taking the Saints.
I think I'm going to pick the Saints as well. I think they have, been kind of this underestimated team, honestly. They've had such a stellar performance. And then I don't think the Eagles are all that, if we're being completely honest. I think Jalen Hurts, he's kind of lost his luster a little bit. I don't think he's not the quarterback he once was. He didn't have Shane Steichen helping him out as a QB coach, as an offensive coordinator. Now on the Colts, and he should be doing that with Anthony Richardson, but we're not here to talk about that. But the Saints will prevail.
I was hoping you'd go down like a 5-minute just like tantrum over.
Just start throwing things.
I thought we had a bite there a little bit when we were reeling that in.
It's I got neighbors too.
physically see a world where the Eagles are 1-2 to start off the season. But then again, the Ravens could be 0-3. So
And
I'm going
Malik
to take
Willis
the
could
Eagles.
have 2 wins after next weekend. Sorry, continue. Didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt.
I'm going to take the Eagles. Maybe the Saints will luck and the talent will run out. I don't know. But give me Philly. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
I'm going to go Saints. If A.J. Brown was healthy for the Eagles, I'd slam the Eagles. But I think Chris Olave, Derek Carr finally clicking. They have all the pieces. They're the healthier team. Hard to go down, I think, to New Orleans and pull that off as well, even with how talented the Eagles are. So we'll go back. Maybe we should post these picks too before the games actually occur, so we can have a clear record of that.
Agreed.
Do that victory lap again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, anything else before we wrap?
Oh, happy to be back. Happy to be back
great
with the
pod.
game.
Glad to be back.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Jake, you're never going to pick games again. One of us will.
I got voted out by all 3 people.
After you said UMass Wagner, dude, that was unreal. That's even on the
Yeah,
schedule.
if you're going to say it, at least know where Wagner is.
Fair.
You could have made up that university for all I know. It's like,
Hey, I see where money that can be made in some of those ugly matchups.
who are you taking? Wagner, UMass. Who are you taking in that dogfight?
It was such a bad game they didn't have any lines posted.
The Minutemen.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Did you see how bad UMass was last week, though, against Buffalo?
No.
Oh, my God. It was pathetic.
Really?
It was more pathetic than Malik Willis.
Hey, wait till he goes 2-0.
Yeah, Coleman, how are you going to feel next week if Malik comes back on his revenge tour to Tennessee, takes it to him, shakes Will Levis's hand at the end of the game, probably whispers something in his ear, and then walks off? How are you going to feel about that?
Good. I'll feel fine with it. You know why? Because the Packers are a better organization than Tennessee.
Oh, for sure.
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
And give him the tools around him. Yeah, he should go out and win that game against Tennessee. But you play an actual competition. You play interdivision games. You play other NFC teams, like half-decent teams that aren't Tennessee, the dog shit of the AFC. We'll struggle.
I think, honestly, out of the 3 organizations we all root for, I think I would take Indianapolis and Green Bay over Baltimore's.
I don't know how you could say that, truthfully.
Make a friendly wager right here. Make a friendly wager. What do you guys want?
I don't even. You can't even argue this.
It's being argued. It's definitely being argued.
What is being argued?
If we had to rank the 3 organizations today, Baltimore, Green Bay, Indianapolis. I think.
Are you talking like last decade, the totality of time, or since inception? What?
Totality of time.
Since a moment of time. Maybe not that far back. No, I'm thinking.
Last 5 years. What? How are we doing this?
I'll just stand over here.
There's a legitimate argument to be had. Like, you could argue either way depending on where you start this.
But I misinterpreted this whole thing. I thought we were talking about spreads this weekend. My bad.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking. Well, dude, yeah, just making it. Then I was like, what are we talking about the totality of time for? I was like, oh, okay.
Did the Packers play the Ravens this year?
I have no clue.
I don't think so.
No. Bummer.
Because they play the AFC South.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, we could discuss this. When do you want to mark the hey? What organization one is better?
2000. We'll say 2000. We'll start at 2000. 24.
The Ravens have more Super Bowls.
How many do you have since 2002?
2.
And the Colts have 2. Is that right?
Since Colts have 1.
Packers have 1.
We went to
Packers
2,
have 1.
Okay.
How many arrests have occurred in each organization?
Does that matter?
I mean, I think
it's Georgia. Does that matter?
Yeah, Georgia. Gosh, that's aren't they up to like 23 reckless?
Does it matter though? arrests.
Did you see though? They did have a TED Talk ish about defensive driving, and I don't think it hit home with the players. So hopefully they have another one because they had a bye week. They need to figure out how to like use a
Let's do
blinker.
driving classes.
Yeah.
To answer your
Honestly.
question there, Coleman, it doesn't matter because Georgia's going to beat Alabama this week. It doesn't matter. Hammer the dogs.
Roll Tide, roll. Roll Tide, roll. All right, this
Rodgers has 4 MVPs. Lamar has 2.
Do you think Henry Ruggs, if he still had eligibility, like Georgia would throw him some Chick-fil-A money to get him down there? I think he'd fit in with the driving culture.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
We have bad episodes from time to time.
That's so bad, dude. That's so bad. Saban actually gave a really great speech, if you guys ever want to see it, about that situation. He gave a really good speech about it, about being a leader. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but
It is very good.
very, very touching. Very touching.
Well, I think we burned this one to the ground, guys.
Yeah, So I think we concluded Packers greatest organization. Obviously, Lombardi Trophy. I'm glad we're all on the same page. And yeah.
Let's see if anybody can make money off our picks this week. I'll try to record them and see who gets what right.
It's awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in for the next episode. Yeah. Please like, subscribe, and share. Happy to be back with the gang.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.